What is up, guys, and welcome to the Meeple Minded podcast, the podcast where we talk all things tabletop gaming. My name is Jason.
And I'm James.
How are you doing, James?
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. It's been forever.
Well, it hasn't, but
It's been a month. We took an extended break.
we did.
We planned a 2-week break, and we took nearly 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I actually hold my hands up because that's my bad. Essentially, what happened is we had all the plans in place to start recording again, and I had the opportunity to play a metric ton of games because I got invited all over the place, and that week was just so riddled for me. I just couldn't fit in the recording, and I said, do you know what? I often don't get the time to game as much as that, so I wanted to take full advantage of it.
Understandable.
So, yes, my bad, but hey-ho, we are back. It's 2024, James.
It is 2024.
Oh, 2023. That was a busy year.
It was a busy year.
It was a very busy year. There was so many games came out last year, and we still didn't manage to play all of them.
No.
Which is, I think, arguably physically impossible to actually play all the games that come out.
We must play all of them.
Yes. Thousands upon thousands of games released every year. Yeah, we'll do that. Easy.
Yeah. It's the dream.
Ugh.
You know.
If you didn't work, you just gamed full time. I mean, I think I'd get bored if I was doing that too much.
Oh, would you though? Because you're always playing a different game.
See, I don't know if I like that as much, because when you try and learn these games, and it's well, I've learned it now. Oh, hang on a minute, now I'm playing something else. You can't really master it. You can't find all the nuances.
The new one
of those games. See, that's a special word I did there.
Yes. It's a very fancy way of saying you can't absolutely cheese the game.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Yes. You can't find all the ins and outs of the games. But, I'd enjoy playing games all the time. I just don't think I'd always want to play something new.
No, I mean, you can't help it, can you? It's like, especially if you found one that you like, you're always going to sort of play a couple of games and circle back to it.
Yeah. And I think really that's ideally what you want, isn't it? Is you do want to be playing some new stuff here and there, but then you do always want those games that you can go, do you know what? I just want to play this today.
Well, yeah, I mean, realistically, especially if you spend money on it, it's like, I love gaming, but none of these games are worth their price if you're only ever going to play them once. No,
exactly. And do you know, it's one of the topics I've got written down, actually, is I genuinely think the shelf of shame or the shelf of opportunity actually probably is a bit more prevalent than a lot of people will admit, and I think there's an element of the shelf of shame that actually plays into the value that you get from games, because if you're only going to play a game 2 or 3 times, which I'd actually go as far to say that a high percentage of people don't even get to that 3-play mark. We do. I know that because of our obsession with, we have to play a game X amount of times to see those nuances before we are qualified, shall we say, to actually talk about these things. I don't think most people do that, James.
No, I don't either.
No. So I think maybe the value that we talk about in games, I'm not so sure it's there as much now. But hey-ho, topic for another day. How was your Christmas, New Year, holiday season? Did you celebrate? Did you do anything at all?
Yeah, it was nice. It was fairly quiet, but it was nice.
Yeah. Did you have a bit of a family affair?
So I was at my parents' house for Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And then my sister also came over with her 2 kids on Boxing Day. So
yeah, real family affair then.
Yeah.
Any lovely presents that you got yourself into?
Oh, I'm at that age now where it's like, yay, socks.
Oh, you've got to love a good pair of socks.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was actually quite because I needed some new socks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is at that point where it's just like, yay, socks. Thanks.
Do you know what? I actually did get socks as well as the undergarments.
Yes.
Which is your traditional sort of thing that you get at our age, and I was really excited to receive them because it's like, yeah, I actually need these, and I don't like spending my own money on them.
Yeah, I mean, this is not to knock the people that got me gifts. Obviously, it's like I am a terrible person to buy gifts for because I will just the actual stuff that I want, I will impulse buy because I have a job.
Yeah,
and I have money, so it's like if I want something, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna wait until Christmas. I'll buy it now.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm basically the same. Like, I do the Christmas list for my family because. They do that whole, make us an Amazon list. Yeah, but most of the things I want aren't on Amazon. Okay, well, can you just make an Amazon list? Fine, I'll make an Amazon list of stuff that I don't usually want or need.
Yeah, I dread it. I'm going to have to do it again in a couple of months when my birthday rocks around. I'm like, what do you want for your birthday? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. See, I'm quite lucky. My birthday's not till October, so I've got 10 months of...
Yeah.
Not having to worry about that.
But I am very much like, no, if I wanted it, I'd probably already possess it.
Yeah. No, this year I did get a few things that I'd asked for, but it was mainly things that I needed for my bike, because I've taken up cycling again.
Mm-hmm.
To try and get a bit more healthy. I've started eating healthy this year. There's no New Year's resolution, none of that guff.
No.
Because, New Year's resolution, I would have broken it already. But I am actually trying to eat a little bit healthier this year because, I'm not the smallest guy around, and I think a little bit of health is always good. And I always enjoyed cycling. But I never enjoyed, the bike maintenance side of things. So, I very rarely made sure my tyres were pressurised and never cleaned my bikes or anything like that. So I kind of needed all those things to be done. So mainly bike stuff for me. What about you? Other than socks.
Socks, a few like odds and sods. It's like, what am I running low on? That kind of stuff. But it was all just stuff like that. Because like I said, if it was anything substantial, I was like, oh, I could do it. No, I've already bought that. Well, that would be no, I've already bought that. Well, this is going well.
Yeah. I got one game from what I remember for Christmas, which was one that I've been after for a while, which was Cluster. Now, I introduced you to this on our very last gaming night, actually.
Yeah. Is that the magnet one?
That's the magnet one.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I don't think you were too impressed when I actually got it out of the box, though, were you? Be honest.
I recognised it, and I recognised it as a dexterity game, so I immediately went, ugh.
Who won, though, James?
Oh, was it me?
It was you. It was you. You actually won, James. Because we did a round of 3, and you won 2 of them. So, that's why you enjoyed it.
I mean, it's like... It's one of those dexterity games, though, where it's put the piece down very finely type, which it's not reaction.
Yeah. So you're a bit more okay with that.
Yeah, with that kind of dexterity. Yeah, it's any games that's reaction is just, I'm not going to have a good time with this game.
It is. I love, because obviously the idea is that you need to get the magnet down without attracting other magnets, because otherwise then you have to pick up all the magnets. It's just that thing of when you're slowly placing it down, you see the ones around it starting to move.
Yeah, they
no.
Don't do it.
And it's like, you hope, okay, if I'm going to put this down, it's going to attract something. Hopefully it's just 1, but then it's just sort of like 6.
They are stupidly powerful magnets.
Great game. I've been looking for that game for so long, and every time it comes back in print, it sells out almost immediately.
Oh, it's such a simple game, though. Yeah. It's a bunch of powerful magnets and a rope.
Yeah. Yep, fantastic little game.
Yeah, which I think that's something I do actually like about it, that the play area is determined by the rope, and you can shape it however you like.
Yeah.
Like I now remember what you're talking about. Like the last one, when I did it, I was just like,
like a horseshoe.
Let's make it hard.
Yeah. Yeah, great fun. Absolutely great fun. But talking of games, James, I finished the year strong. I said I was going to do a cull of my games, and I succeeded, James. I did the great cull. My collection is streamlined. It's far better than it used to be, because I sold 1 game. I did really well.
Don't ask me which one it is.
I can actually tell you. I sold Ankh. Which was my version of Ankh. And yeah, I didn't really want to see that one go, but I know so many people that own Ankh, it's kind of pointless me having it, because I know I can play it. So that one, it didn't matter that it went. But I think now, James, that the cull is finished. I think that I have successfully cut my games down enough. The cold didn't go very well. So, continuation. I am going to be culling more games in 2024. Do we think that I can succeed this year, James?
No.
Well, we shall see. This time next year, I will not be a millionaire, but I will hopefully be less inundated with games.
No, because for every game that you sell, you will buy 2 more.
This is a fact that I cannot deny.
It's like, when you cull, Jason, your number of games is not supposed to go up.
Well, I mean, it depends on your definition of the word cull. I mean...
To reduce numbers.
See, I don't read that dictionary. I read the Gamer's Dictionary, which is to cull a game from the collection whilst replacing with at least 2 more. I think that's fair. And arguably that is fair because I'm doing it to make some more shelf space. So if I culled Ankh, for example, I can buy 2 small boxes that fit in that same space.
You can. I'm actually looking at the space it's created right now.
Yeah.
Or you could get a big box game in there.
Yep, which is more likely. So, but yes, culling games, that's new on. Yeah, well, it's still on the list for me this year. What about you, James? Do you need to cull the collection yet?
I've been thinking about it, mate. I'm not going to lie. I just cannot move. You know, that Nemesis box just takes up so much room.
Yeah, I know, man. Nemesis is a big box game. What about all the others? Are they all right on the? Did you get any more games? Have you had any more games, James?
I have not.
Oh dear. Did you back the new Nemesis game, James?
No, because Ant did. I didn't have to in the end.
Oh dear. This year, James, I am going to make you get at least 4 more games. And that's going to be a lot easier this year because we're doing both UK Games Expo and Essen.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to resist.
This is good because we had the discussion before we went live, James, and we're burning through my games like nobody's business.
No, but you see, you say that. Yes, we are doing both Essen and UK Games Expo. But as I learned from my inaugural UK Games Expo, if I throw you at the arena first, you will impulse buy everything.
I'm being a bit more reserved this year.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
And to be fair, you did actually buy games at Expo.
I did.
Year. Granted, they ended up in my collection.
They did.
But still, they were unmatched, though.
Yeah.
It was to complete our unmatched set. But yes. James, should we talk about some games that we played towards the end of last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's basically what this episode's going to be, isn't it? We're having a little bit of a catch-up. What's been happening, what's going to be happening, and all of that kind of jazz. So, yeah. James, what did you play over the Christmas break?
What did I play over the Christmas break? Well, I hosted a game night.
You did?
I did.
You did? This was your first hosting, was it not?
I believe it was.
Yes, very nice. You gave me a break from hosting.
I did, because
which was nice.
So, yeah, we gamed at mine, and we played Nemesis.
Fancy that.
We did.
A game night at yours, and we played Nemesis.
Indeed.
Who'd have thunked it? James, how did that evening go? Because from what I remember, we had 2 new players to the game.
Oh, I'm sure Dave's played it before.
Yes, Dave's played it. John had
Dave's played it multiple times. It was John's first playthrough.
Yes. How did it go? How did your first hosting go?
I think it went very well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What happened?
We all died.
I don't know. I mean, that's open to debate, don't you think?
Not really. I mean, regardless of whether we completed our objectives, Dave decided to hurtle us off into deep space, so we all died.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't his objective or anything.
No, he just
didn't want to have anyone win.
I feel enough time has passed now, in case Dave is listening to this episode, as I discovered as I was packing up the game, that John, the devious little what's-it that he is, was actually sitting on the item that Dave needed all along, because it's his starting item.
Yeah.
So, Dave, if you're listening, that escape pod key, John had it the whole game.
Yes. Yeah. Nice. I will say that I really enjoyed that game. I completed my objective very, very early on in the game.
Yeah.
And then
You did half of my objective for me by completing your objective.
I was an amazing team player.
You were, and it threw all of us.
It did. It especially threw Dave.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Which was brilliant. Because I just took great pleasure in, causing all this chaos, activating the self-destruct, even though I didn't need to. And then Dave seemingly believing me when I said that we were working together and that we should get to the pod so that we could escape.
Yep. Point of reference, dear listeners, if you're ever playing a game with Jason and he says we're working together, spoiler alert, you're not.
But for the record, I actually was. My objectives were not to kill anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're working with us.
But no, that was great fun. Just was like, oh, why are you going that way? Because I want to. But I thought we were going to the pods. I never said that. But I thought we were going to escape. No, I don't need to. My objective's over there. I need to go to that side of the ship. Great fun.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was truly funny. Considering he was trying to kill me at the time, I found it very funny.
Yeah. Oh, that was a very fun game night, James. Well done for hosting a very good, very, very good game night. But it wasn't the last game night that we had.
It was not.
Because we managed to get in quite a bit.
We did.
Over the Christmas period. Now, my very last game night was obviously here, was my hosting. It was myself, you, Simon, and Kiri, I believe it was.
It was.
We played 3 games that night.
We did.
One of them, as we've already mentioned, was Cluster.
Yep.
Then I got to introduce you to Age of Comics: The Golden Years.
Yes.
So, first impressions, James, because that is a game we're going to talk about soon, but what were your first impressions on it?
Yeah, it was a very interesting game once I got my head. Like, once we'd done a turn.
Yep.
So that's probably about as long as it took me to actually go, oh, yeah, I see what's going on here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a fun little game, that one.
Yeah, I mean, the premise of the game, from what I remember, 'cause it's been a couple of weeks at this point since you played it, is you are a publisher.
Yeah, you're Marvel.
You're Marvel, you're DC. One of the two. You're in Manhattan. You're in the golden age of comics, and you are creating comics. You're hiring artists. You're hiring writers, and you're publishing the best possible comics you can, and then trying to fulfill orders. And then over time, your comics slowly get less and less popular, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's kind of like I want to say like an economic management game.
It is pretty much.
But it has that sort of worker placement aspect to it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How did you find that combined?
I thought it was done quite well, actually.
Yeah?
I liked the scoring system of the comics slowly decreasing in popularity,
Yes.
so you had to get a new one out.
Yeah, you couldn't just publish one amazing comic and live off that.
Yeah.
You kind of had to keep pumping more and more comics out, which again, I guess is very thematic.
Yeah.
From exactly how comics work. You usually get comics every week or every month or so bit. I really enjoyed it. I will say I really enjoyed it. However, the learning of that game, you're lucky enough you weren't here. Me and Kiri actually sat down the night before to learn that game, and oh my god, what a travesty of a rulebook that game has. I mean, I might go into it a bit more when we do an episode on it, but yeah, the rulebook is it's a true Kickstarter golden rulebook. That is not that great. But yeah, the game itself, once we got through the rulebook and learnt the game, it worked really, really nicely. I was at the point of potentially selling it. Now I'm I really enjoyed it. So it's staying in the collection for now. First impressions of it, it's pretty good. Look forward to seeing if there's much replayability to it. I like the fact that you can make fake comics.
Yeah, you can rip off other players' comics, basically. That's quite cool, that is.
Yeah. I want to explore that side of it a bit more, because we were all making our own, real comics. I think there's a path to victory that could be said for fake comics as well. But the very last game that we played in the year of 2023, James, was Heat Pedal to the Metal. How did you find that? Was it a great game to go out on?
I always enjoy a game of Heat.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to the new expansion that was announced a little while ago?
I am, although technically we haven't played all the ones that came in the base box.
All the modules, yeah. I mean, I think we've done the bulk of the important ones.
Yeah, we've not done the weather one, from what I remember.
I think I have, from what I remember, but I'll have to double check. Especially as the new one is based on rain. I believe it's the Japanese circuit is one of the boards that comes in it, which makes sense for the heavy rain or torrential rain or whatever it's called. Looking forward to that. But yeah, that was the very last game that we played last year. James, can you remember the first one you played this year?
Earth.
Yes, that was an interesting one to come back to, wasn't it?
That was indeed.
Yeah. You beat me, from what I remember.
No, not in that one.
Not in that one. That was the one towards the end of last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, our good friend Ed was over from Holland.
Yeah.
For the new year. So we managed to get a couple of games in with him, and Earth was one of them. I won that. Yep, I've just looked at my thing. I managed to win that.
You guys kind of ran away with that one a little bit.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
I mean, not too much. Like I finished on 290, Ed got 273, and you got 215. So yeah, I think you stumbled a bit in that one.
Yeah, I tailed off. From what I remember, you guys, you changed something really well.
Yeah. I managed to. I really focused on just two of the colours, and I think that was the trick for me. And I caught a lot of you off guard at the end there, where I just kept spamming cards down.
Yeah.
Because I think at one point you guys got to like 2 cards away, and I was like, I only had half my tableau out, and then it was like, nope, green. I'm just spamming this stuff. It was great. But yeah, Earth, James.
Yeah. Still
a fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's solidified itself in my top 5, that game.
Excellent. Spoilers, James. Who says we're not going to do a top 5 games at some point?
Well, we might do, but by the time we do it,
is it
something might have knocked it out? I doubt it, but
we shall see, because I believe their next game is due at some point this year, so that could be interesting. I mean, I'm going to spam through a few games here, James, because I've been playing a fair few this year and last year, but I got to try a few new games. I got to play the Art Project. Now, this is a really nice cooperative little game where it's a tiny little board, actually. But you're basically trying to, I believe the theme of it is you're trying to find like stolen art, and there's like the white hands which are dotted about the board. They are the criminals, basically, and you can't retrieve the art until you've cleared the area that the art is in, and you do that by collecting sets. So, for example, I got 3 Mona Lisa cards, I cashed it in, and then that art appeared at a Mona Lisa spot. I then had to get to the spot to retrieve it, but obviously I couldn't do that until I fought off the hands. Really, really interesting little concept. I think you might enjoy it. Fully cooperative. It's tough for me. I was looking at it as like, where could semi-co-op come into this? Could I be a secret member of the White Hands? But a really interesting little box. It's not a big box game, but it comes with so much in the box. There's loads of different maps, loads of different ways of playing the game. Really, really good fun. Played that with Simon of Board Stupid, so thank you very much for introducing me to that, Simon. Look forward to playing it more. I also managed to get a game day up at Wayne of Board Stupid's house, where he introduced me to 2 new games. One of them was Pan Am, which, I mean, Pan Am, the airline, the fabled airline that survived many, many years. It's a game based on that airline, and this is not a cooperative game. You are essentially running your own airline, but the overall aim of the game is to buy as many stocks in Pan Am as possible. Now, at the start of the game, Pan Am starts, I think, in Miami, and then rapidly spreads out on the board, taking over routes that you might have put in, and by such, they'll pay you for those routes, but then you've lost them, so they're not generating you money. There's a really interesting plan to that game, and again, I liked that game so much that I'm actually very, very close to buying it myself. Very, very cheap game as well. I think it's about £25. Little airplane models in there as well. I think you'll really enjoy it. I think there's a lot of strategic elements to it. Wayne was interested to see my take on the game because I was only building routes that couldn't be taken over by Pan Am, and I wasn't buying shares into Pan Am at all for the entire game. I was just building my money, and then right at the end, I just cashed in everything and sold all my routes to Pan Am. I didn't get the victory, however, I was still in contention. So it was, and he openly admitted he'd not seen that strategy before. So I feel like I did good, but I feel like now I know the game a bit more, I can maybe adopt a different strategy or fine tune my strategy. Maybe start buying some shares a bit sooner than I did. But yeah, really, really good game. Pan Am, I think it's by Funko Games, which I'm on the fence with Funko Games. They're either really, really good or real guff. But yep, Pan Am is definitely one of those that I really enjoyed. Another one I want to talk about is Haunted Lands. Now, Wayne actually put this in his top 5 games of 2023, which is why I was like, I need to play this because I didn't know about this game. So Haunted Lands is basically a tiny little board, and you're going around building and scavenging the land. So imagine a box standard Euro where you're going around, you're farming, you're gaining wheat, you're gaining wood, you're gaining this, gaining that. That's basically the game. The difference being is there are also ghosts that are going around. And if there's a ghost on a space, you can't farm there. If there's a ghost next to your, say, sawmill that you've built, it then stops it from working. So you have to fight the ghosts or tell them to go away to get rid of them. But you're limited on your actions. And you've got a nice little board in front of you, and your actions are determined by flipping over tokens on your board. And if you go back into the city centre, you could upgrade your board, start adding more tokens to flip, and so on and so forth. It's a 3-season game, 3 rounds per season, so 9 rounds in total. The game gets progressively harder as the game goes on. You're basically going for Valor. Very, very interesting game. Did enjoy it. Again, I think you might enjoy it. I might have to get him to introduce us to that one soon. Haunted Lands.
Intriguing.
Yes. I could talk all day, James, about games I've been playing because I've been playing so many. But I'm not going to. It's going to be a fairly short episode. But before we go, James, I want to talk about what's happening with us this year. We've had long and extensive discussions about where we're going with the podcast this year. And that discussion lasted about 10 minutes while we were on the way to my house. Because, you know me, I'm not the best at planning. I probably should have talked to you about this beforehand. But we were having a discussion about what we're going to do with regards to recording this year. We've talked about going every other week.
Yeah.
We've talked about temporarily going every other week. And we've talked about staying our weekly release schedule. I think we're both unsure about where we go with this. The main reason we've had this discussion is because right now is a very slow time in the industry. There's not as many games getting released. But in the build-up to UKGE, for example, more games will start coming out. We'll start seeing the new 2024 releases filtering through. What are your thoughts on it, James?
I agree with the whole, this is the slower part of the year. And it's like, this has basically been spurred on by the fact that we are rapidly running out of your collection to talk about.
Yeah. Buy more games, James. That deals with the situation.
That doesn't help, really, because if that was the simple solution, you would have beaten me to the punch and just bought more games.
A lack of money would stop that, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, we were, in all seriousness, we were going through it. It's like we've got about 8 left, haven't we, that we haven't done.
Yeah, and they're not, like, the newest of games. You know, we've never been one of those that really care about only doing the newest stuff. You know, we had a good run last year where there were so many new games. We were hot on that.
It was a good year for that.
Like. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's fair to say we'll start doing a few games that are of an older age. But the question is, James, have we still got enough there that we can really be able to kick out an episode every week?
At least temporarily, I think we're going to go down to
Like, not for very long.
Yeah.
It
is temporary. It is
I enjoy doing this.
Yeah,
every week.
so do I.
So I think, I think to keep the content as at the right level, because rather than just we're putting an episode out for the sake of an episode, I think for at least a month, maybe 2 at a push, we might go every other week.
Yeah.
And considering this one's not coming out to the end of January, that's
yeah.
That's already the first month dealt with. But yeah, I think because we're still going to do our topicals because we both enjoy doing the topicals. We've got a few games that are lined up from the tail end of last year, which we wanna get through. James, you're quite correct in saying you have been pestering me for ages to do Ankh.
Yep.
Because you want to tell the world your thoughts on Ankh, even though it's an older game. I agree with you. It would be nice for us to talk about that, even though I don't own it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, clues there as to where I stand on that game. But, I think we may start the year off a bit slower. However, being us, that could backtrack very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like you said, we both enjoy doing it. So it's like as soon as, or rather, I agree with what you said about there's no point in chucking an episode out for the sake of chucking an episode out.
Exactly.
So yeah, as soon as content-wise things pick up a little bit, then yeah, we'll be straight back to if we can justify it. It's like last year we had a very good run. That's like we could justify every single one of those episodes.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I guess that's all really that we're planning on changing this year is at the start of the year we're going to take it a bit slower until the games start filtering through, because again, here in the UK we don't get games at the same time that they're released in the States.
Yep.
Which does hinder us substantially, but usually by the time we get to the UK Games Expo we've caught up with all those games and we start getting all the new stuff as well. With us going to Essen this year, hopefully we can overcome that issue next year.
Yeah.
Because we will have been out there to buy said new games. So that's what's happening with the podcast. In the interim, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening with Paul and the news show yet. Obviously, he is still taking it easy with regards to his health. So hopefully we'll get to see him soon.
Yep.
It was nice to have him on at the end of last year as well.
It was indeed.
Nice to have a catch up. But yeah, what else do we need to talk about, James?
Well, I think we've pretty much wrapped this one up.
I think we have. Because as you can probably guess, is I didn't prepare any notes for this whatsoever. I have been winging this. But it was time that we got back behind the mics.
It was.
It's been just shy of a month since we last recorded. But yeah, there you go, guys. That is what's happening. That's what we've been up to. And providing we don't backtrack on this almost immediately, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Probably for a topical, but it might well be a game. Who knows? We'll figure that out close to the time. But until then, thank you very much for listening to us and coming back to us in 2024. Looking forward to another year, James.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent stuff. It's going to be a busy one. Be ready for it. Till next week, I have been Jason.
And I have been James.
And you have been listening to the Meeple Minded podcast. Join us next week. No, not next week. Join us in 2 weeks' time for more tabletop gaming goodness. Ta-ta and goodbye.